We should turn all of CAD software into a video game, like Minecraft for grown-ups.
We got to get our guest lecturer at some point. We got to get Caroline on this.
Oh, yeah?
We have an actual architect. Like, she speaks CAD. I could only remember Autodesk from these are people who do GIS and CAD.
Yeah, it's GIS, which is all the geographic stuff. You got CAD for architecture, but you got CAD for aerospace and automotive and machines. But basically, like what kids are doing in Minecraft is going and building all this shit. But we have industrial grade CAD software with finite element analysis, CFD and stuff.
We have an Australian guest. I think we may have to let her in.
Here we
go. I could speak, but
all right.
When you have an Australian accented architect, it'll carry more weight.
All right, we'll get her in. Guest appearance from Caroline. She's on. So basically the idea is that kids are in Minecraft rebuilding the entire world. They're building buildings and cars and airplanes and robots and everything in Minecraft. But we could go the other way and use CAD software and gamify it. So we start with CAD software that's like Minecraft for grown-ups. That's what engineers are using to make everything anyway. But then we gamify it and put it together into a big Minecraft-esque simulation like using NVIDIA's cloud.
But the gamification is interesting.
Remember, you could do everything, right? Caroline, you could do tools in it. You can make a CAD.
Yeah.
Forget buildings, but how cool would that be? Instead of some Minecraft Roblox thing, you just have a real building.
Yeah, you just have a real building that came out of SolidWorks or Pro-E or whatever, CATIA, because we have all these this cool stuff where you start to gamify things. Okay, who can design the best airplane? For 2 passengers, all electric, range of 1,000 miles, go. And then everybody designs it in CAD, you test it
and you get rights to it, though.
Yeah,
I think the big thing for this is you own it, right? Like Caroline, if you got, I don't know, you make some very cool furniture.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is reality versus not reality, meaning a lot of architecture, like awards and things, a lot of studios with spare time, they build the unrealistic or they're projects that you spend hours on but that never get built. What's interesting about this kind of secondary world is that's where those could live, is those projects that never get built. But it'd be interesting to have if there is the reality realm applied to it, because obviously it's engineering to it or not, that could take it to a whole other level.
Yeah, I think that's what
you could validate it.
You would have a world.
Price it and validate it. That's it. Price and validate. Epic.
And then you'd have a world where like one hemisphere was things that passed validation, and the other hemisphere was things that are like not yet passing, right?
You mean non-Euclidean? No.
Like you have things that are like, it's a skyscraper made of paper mache.
Right.
So you can still have it on that hemisphere, but until it passes validation for all Newtonian physics, then it can't be installed on the other hemisphere.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it because you know what's interesting that this would have that is similar to what you get in Fortnite and other things is you could price your thing. So for example, and Caroline, I'm going to give a shout out to Silent Volume and your chair. So there's some secret chair, but let's say it's incredible and it's amazing and it's validated. You could own it, right? She can have that. And then people have to like either buy it or license it to use it as furniture somewhere else. So you can have virtual sales.
Yeah, totally.
In the digital.
Yeah, they're like NFTs. They're like 3D NFTs, basically.
You could even,
except we don't have to go.
You know what you could do? You could even have like a shopping mall run by CATIA. And they say, okay, we have validated this. You can go say, okay, I'm looking for a skyscraper that I can build on the sand. Okay, here's a shopping mall full of those, right?
Do you get to get this from your LinkedIn? No, so you get your points on LinkedIn and then you go shopping.
Hit points on LinkedIn.
It'd be like BIM, but next level. BIM designing with next level.
Oh yeah, so this is good because I knew she was going to come up with this thing. So
what's BIM?
I didn't know what it was either, but here, why don't you explain what BIM is?
Oh my God, I don't even know what it stands for anymore because you use it so colloquial now. But basically, when architecture and engineering and all your contractors are basically building in the same space, but everything is 3D built. So it's SolidWorks and AutoCAD, but 3D AutoCAD.
So it's like GitHub for CAD.
Yeah.
Building information modeling, according to Wiki.
So basically, you are designing the entire building and spec, and right down to you're literally drawing the pipes for water, you're doing sprinklers, everything is 3D built. And then the stresses are put on the building in the 3D world, whether it's engineering stresses or earthquake stresses or sun. So everything is 3D built. And then that BIM model is also like the developer / owner of the building owns it for future sale.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
integration, testing. Yeah, cool.
And and if they wanted to renovate it, it lives basically a document that then stays with the building of everything. If you want to renovate it, you can then jump into the BIM world and be like, if I want to move that wall, you can see this is HVAC line or something.
I'm just going to read the AI overview from them, but it's perfect. Thank you, Caroline. It says, building information modeling, BIM, is the collaborative process that allows architects, engineers, and other construction professionals, these are our people in our world, to plan, design, and construct a building within the 3D model. It's often preferred over CAD for complex projects because it allows for integrated data and collaboration enhanced. So this could be it. It's like you now take these and it works, right? You could have
So we should just try hosting a Dungeons & Dragons game in BIM.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. LinkedIn, BIM.
That's interesting.
You got to give me the fancy dice though.
Because the idea of the gamifying it, a lot of companies won't do BIM modeling at the moment unless you are doing something like a skyscraper or an entire university, because it takes a lot of time. You can imagine the hours and input that you have to do to 3D model your HVAC lines and power, electricity, everything.
Yeah, but there ought to be like a GitHub version of this where it's like open to the world. Anybody can bring their CAD models. Other people can comment on them. You can fork them and improve them. That's what we should have.
I also don't think technology was ready for BIM, probably not until maybe the last 5 to 10 years anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
The size of the file.
But this is massive. Like when you look at what what NVIDIA is trying to show off in their keynotes is like physics models of the world.
Yeah.
Right? And they're showing factories and stuff, but it's not just graphic renderings, it's actual physical models that are rendered and they're actually operating and you can test them out. So I think we need NVIDIA to make a GitHub version of that where anybody can just make a thing and put it in the world. And then the rest of us can go run around and shoot stuff.
It's like OpenAI, but 3D.
But that's the thing, right? So imagine you added 2 more things, right? Which is, so there's a world engine that we need, which NVIDIA has one, but years ago we were trying to build a world engine, a Newtonian world engine. But the second thing you want to now, forget LLM, whatever these LLMs. So for me, you could come up with some cool things, for example, an HVAC.
You're right.
Right? So it's like, all right, so you don't know how to run your piping, you're not optimizing it. And here's the funny thing. If you build this correctly, what will come out of the simulation mode are going to be kids, go back to your college conversation, who will say, hey, wait a minute, I don't need to know how to become a plumber. I've plumbed 20 items in whatever this is, like SimCity Pro.
Yeah, that's basically what we want. SimCity 5000.
Right? And you want people to build, you want SimCity.
It's like certification.
You want SimCity reality, right? And now the key is if you could get routing engines, because think of it, there's a company we're about to work with called Ahoy. Think of Ahoy, think of Jamil.
Yeah.
Routing. But think of things we could start putting in this. The computations, unfortunately, is probably out of control. But I don't think
that's the whole point. We're going from a exaflop world to a zetaflop world this year. That's what's happening. Like the computation we have is like Moore's Law. People think, I was thinking about this morning. People think of Moore's Law as like this amazing exponential growth curve. Moore's Law was fucking holding us back. Moore's Law was a limitation. Ever since the end of Moore's Law, we've only accelerated the growth of computation because a huge part of it was we weren't being smart about putting all that computation together in a way where it could do large models. Now we are. So it's actually getting really exciting really fast what we can do.
Yeah, only now the technology will be ready for something like this for sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks. I appreciate it, Caroline. We'll get on making the world game. That's what Buckminster Fuller called it. But he didn't understand anything about computers.
Ready Player One on crack.